development things happening, that you would like to be your own self-employer, providing jobs for the others. So we promote that one in Sri Lanka, we promote that one in all the other parts of the world as well. Entrepreneurial skills, and that is how a world will develop, right? If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and ask any questions, okay? Right? Don't be very serious, smiling. Yes.
You said something about engineers getting involved in the banking system.
Yes.
And in what way?
Normally, it is not to just like a cashier or something like that in the banking. Now, when you say consider banking, you have several concepts in banking. Provide development finance, cost-benefit analysis of projects, to see the investment and all that. So that is where engineering contribution is, right? Analysis and provide the guidance. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, right. Now, if you consider the disciplines of engineering, now these are some of the disciplines we are having at Moratuwa University, right? Chemical and process engineering, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, electrical engineering, electronic and telecommunication, earth resources, material science and engineering, mechanical, textile and clothing technology. So we have 9 engineering disciplines here at Moratuwa. So in local universities, if you consider Peradeniya, you have about 5, 6. Ruhuna, you have about 3. Now, if you consider world over, there are a large number of engineering disciplines that you can think of. These are just some. Aeronautical engineering, automobile, manufacturing, production, environment, building services, biomedical, robotics, geotechnical. Now, you can come out with any kind of a specialty. It is up to the university, and also it is up to the university to consider the development aspects in the world and to introduce engineering disciplines to suit. Okay, to find out. Say, for example, things like biomedical engineering was not there earlier. Things like robotics was not there earlier. Now, if you consider the development of the engineering aspects, the various engineering universities will start these new disciplines because there is a need. So, therefore, it is dynamic. There are no unique ideas to say that these are only the disciplines that you need to consider. Right, let me just to give you some ideas about various disciplines that we have. Now, if you consider chemical and process engineering, which is a very, very popular field in some countries because they are doing quite a lot of things on using the chemical and process, although it is not so much popular in Sri Lanka because we have not really developed in these aspects so much. Now, that one transforms materials, raw materials, to products. Now, in the transformation process, you have processes to be built up. Now, in the chemical and process, in detail, you develop these processes through unit operations. That is, from one point to the next point, what is happening and what is the process that you need to introduce. So, from that point to the other point, what's happening, what kind of processes to be introduced. So, it is a process development throughout, right? Raw materials to finished products. And then, waste treatment is, again, one of the most important aspects of chemical engineering. At the end of the day, treatment of waste will result sometimes the energy, or sometimes you reuse or recycle, and or develop some useful products through waste management. Now, these are the crux of chemical engineering. And you have opportunities in the petrochemical industry, oil explorations, and all the development of processes. Now, all these oil processing and things like that, those are the specialties of chemical and process engineering. Okay, if you were to decide. Food and beverage manufacturing, processing happening, these are all the contributions by chemical and process engineers. That is the designing or the identification of the combination of things that should go into the product itself, plus the processing of products as well, all these products. Sugar industry that we have in Sri Lanka, processing of sugar, right, through chemical and process engineering. Confectionaries, the chocolates girls like so much, all these things are happening through chemical and process engineering. Polymer industries, Specifically rubber, we are very good in Sri Lanka as a rubber, and those of you who know that we are the world #1 solid tire manufacturer, so the Sri Lanka, solid tire by Lodestar, right? And we have #1 rubber, quality rubber in the world, natural rubber. So we export quite a lot of things through rubber industry, and which has a great applications in chemical and process engineering. Personal products like soap, toothpaste, and all the kinds of personal hygiene things that we have. These are chemical and process engineering. And many more items, including paint, okay, and including pharmaceuticals, and some of the food items, and the papers, production, and solid waste management, which is a critical issue in Sri Lanka as well. Cement manufacturing, this is a process of manufacturing, right? And waste treatment, wastewater treatment in this case, okay? And future of chemical and process engineering will have lots of applications in the area of nanotechnology. And those of you who know that in Sri Lanka we have a nanotechnology institute, SLINTech. That is, we want to be with the world, that we want to develop applications in those areas. And when you consider, nanotechnology, we operate in a nano scale, and you can develop, things like paint that you never want to paint again, or you can develop, dresses with the nanotechnology that you don't want to wash because they don't capture any dirt or something like that. So these are the developments taking place in the nanotechnology area. Okay, that is about the future, about the process engineering. And when you specialize the chemical and process engineering, you can work in any of these institutions in Sri Lanka and world over as well. You see that in the paint industries, Unilever, cement manufacturing, Brandix, which is a textile and apparel, Coca-Cola beverages, and Shell gas, any of these institutions you need chemical and process engineering, because all of those have something to do with processing. Right, so therefore the role of the chemical and process engineer is to design of manufacturing and treatment plant, expertise in running such plant, expertise in environmentally friendly processing, optimize the efficiency of processes, improve the quantity of products, productivity, and minimize the energy needed. That is very important aspects that we world over that we consider, minimizing energy. So therefore, you develop the chemical and process engineering through fundamentals of knowledge that you develop through chemistry, biology, physics, mathematics, and put them together, that you develop the chemical and process engineering. Okay, that's you are familiar with. Right, that is just one field that you probably would like to pursue, chemical and process. Let's consider another discipline, civil engineering. It is a composite of many specific disciplines, which include, perhaps this subject might not be very familiar to you, things like structural and solid mechanics, waste treatment and environment, that is of course familiar, transportation, you're familiar with, geotechnical and soil mechanics, hydraulics and water management, construction management. Let me elaborate that one a bit. Now if you consider structural aspects, now you can see all these tall buildings that I was talking about, very tall buildings, nearly 1 kilometer high. Now you cannot just build, just keep on building. You need to analyze, you need to see the properties of the soil, you need to see the behavior of the structure, about the dead loads, about the imposed loads, about the wind loads, all these kinds of things, because safety is very, very important. So the structural engineers design steel, concrete, timber is not so high, frame structures such as very tall building and towers, bridges, dams, retaining walls, foundations, stadiums, and all these kinds of things. If you consider any big structure, now obviously there is input from civil engineering in the structural design aspect. Okay? Waste treatment and environment. Now that is, another branch of civil engineering is to design to analyze water treatment plants. And they can be sanitary waste treatment facilities or industrial waste treatment facilities, potable or drinking water treatment facilities. Now, you don't know the water that you are getting to drink at your home there is a process going on, because we don't have clean water every time. So we need to clean water. And of course, nowadays you have drinking water which is coming out from your storage lines. You can treat the water so that you can drink again as well. You have lots of pollution taking place in the industrial setup, in the manufacturing processes, specifically in the chemical-related industries. And you treat these things so that you have all pure water coming out. Now that is a part of civil engineering combined with chemical as well. Transportation, engineers design and analyze the highways, the railways, the airports, urban and suburban road networks, parking lots, traffic control signals. This is where the specialty of transportation engineering come into the scene. Okay, the design part of it. That's a branch of civil engineering. Geotechnical and soil mechanics. Geotechnical engineers analyze the subterranean, that is, you're below the ground, rock and soil, to determine its stability to support extreme loads, such as huge buildings of the height of about 1 kilometer or so. How to support that kind of a load. So therefore, geotechnical engineers' input is essential when you design and construct these kind of structures. Then hydraulics and water management involves the use of hydrologic and hydraulic principles to design drainage systems, detention, retention ponds, navigation waterways, flood control systems, dams, which you consider for irrigation and power generation as well. This is where the design of hydraulic engineering comes. Construction management includes, forming contracts and managing projects, plan, scheduling and controlling all the activities, hire and schedule all the subcontracts who work. And the objective is to provide a quality control and ensure the project is completed on time and within the budget, ensuring the safety of the construction. And all the multi-story construction that you have, all the bridges, tall buildings, they are not just easy to manage. They need to have a very complex kind of systems where you make sure that you manage your projects to complete in a timely manner without exceeding the budget with all the schedules, meeting and the safety requirements. And civil engineering also provides all the modeling to come out with designs to suit. Now this is a Colombo Port expansion project. So these are all, modeling that you do with the assistance of the computers to see how the system behaves, so that you come out with designs which satisfy your requirements. Right? This is stage 1 development and stage 2 development. This is design of Hambantota Seaport, where you consider all the computer analysis to see how the port behaves, how we come out with the designs to suit and satisfy the objectives. This is again contribution by multidisciplinary aspects like civil, mechanical and electrical to design this green factory in the MS Holdings, and that won the #1 award in the world, right? That is called Leeds Green Building Award, #1 award in the entire world as a green building, where we save 45% of energy through various techniques that we have developed and adapted. Some of the technologies that we have